chair. Well, sample effect. I brought the complaining office back, so you old fans of my YouTube channel are gonna like this because I brought the complaint office back. Just do some real quick. Just the camera. So welcome to the complaint office. Now you might be wondering, what am I doing here? Well, I'm gonna review the new Rockos Modern Life movie on Netflix. If you have a Netflix account, go check it out yourself. And I haven't really seen the original show, so I'm gonna have to look for that. And because of that, I'm not gonna get all the references and jokes here. But all I know, spoilers for if you haven't seen the show or movie yet. But at the end of the show, the big heads or whatever they're called, were just there. I guess they're frog characters or whatever. I don't know. They're just a character that one of them works for a giant business or whatever. But then all of a sudden, but then in this movie, okay. But at the end of the show, a rocket hit them and blasted off into space for 20 years. Or around 20 years, because that's how long it has been ever since that episode came out, I think. I don't know. I don't know any, but I do know a bit about the show. And it was weird. That's all. That's a lot I know. So then the plot is that they find a remote control for the rocket. It was apparently stuck to something. I can't remember. But it was stuck to something. And then when they found it, they went back home. And they were talking to the fatheads. But then, I guess the business ran out of money or whatever. And then Rocco learns that the show he watches a lot, the show he watches would be canceled, and it was called, I can't remember. Was it the Fatheads? I guess it was the Fatheads or whatever. It's some weird cartoon show thing. But they are trying to bring it back. Rocco wants it to be brought back so he can watch it. And Mr. Bighead needs it to happen so the company he works at would be in business again. But then it's kind of a message about how cartoons, reboots of cartoons, need the original animators, kinda. And yeah, so then they try to animate it without the previous animator, Ralph, which I guess was the son of Mr. and Mrs. Bighead or whatever, I don't know. But then, so Rocco and his friends try looking for Ralph after all the animation that they were shown that these replacement animators looked bad, garbage. So then they found Ralph, and he's selling a Fathead Frozen Pops, which, if the show is canceled, then why would you still make pops of it? Well, they make Powerpuff Girl pops, so they made Powerpuff Girl ice creams, and I think the reboot was canceled. So yeah, So instead of that, but this show has been around for 20 years, and the reboot has only been around for has been canceled for a few years. Anywho, is that so then they find Ralph, and this is where the weird part. He says, I don't want to do it. And then he's like, yeah, sure, I guess I'll do it for my parents. And then guess what? Then the weirdest part happens. He comes out of the truck, says, but I have changed. I am no longer Ralph. Guess he's looks like a girl now or whatever. It's weird, kind of weird. I'm not trying to offend people like that, but it's kind of a big change. I think I don't think Ralph was ever in the original show. I have never seen the original. Okay, I've only heard about it, seen a few clips, and watched this new film, but I have never seen the original, so I don't know if Ralph showed up. And then they bring Ralph there, but they don't. But I guess Mr. Bighead or whatever doesn't approve of him changing gender or whatever. So then, because they ruined Mr. and Mrs. Bighead's house, because of all this, just Mr. Bighead is on the roof, just kind of sad how everything changed. Rockos down there trying to calm him, or trying to make him happier. But then, the cloud of change comes and said, hey, change happens and all this stuff, yet Rocco and Mr. Bighead don't care. They're like, look, we want this thing, and then, while that's happening, Ralph over here, or Ralphette or whatever, Ralph over here is making the special in his ice cream truck thing. And then, so when this is done, the Cloud gets a phone call from Rocco's two friends, and they call up Rocco and say, hey, the special is airing right now! So they go over there on some drone thing. Don't ask. Just watch the movie and you'll figure it all out. And then they watch the special over there at this place. And because the rocket is now out of Rocco's house, and actually just moving around across space and stuff, because it ejected out because they accidentally pushed the button on your rocket remote control that they found. That'll come in play later, okay? So they watch this special, and Mr. Big Head realizes this story it told in this special is one about my son, the relationship between me, Mrs. Big Head, and my son, Ralph. So they have this nice moment all together, but then Rocco says they added a baby or a kid to the Fathead's show, and I don't like it. And he's talking about how he wants the original, but then the Cloud of Change comes back and says, you realize, and then Mr. Big Head is like, no, let me talk to him. And he talks to him, and Rocco, in quotes, says, nice, I guess change is good. Okay, guess change is good. So, and then they all celebrate and stuff, but then the rocket comes in, snatches up the building that the boss of the building is in, and takes him into space without the remote control. That's not good. Unless if it has a remote control on the rocket. Wait, if it had a... Okay, about my theory about it having a remote control on the actual rocket itself, like a go back to Earth button. Then why didn't they do that when they're in space? Why didn't Rocco and his friends do that when they were in space? I don't know. You guys should see the movie. They're adjusting the change, and now I guess Rocco's friends are adjusting to the new technology. They also have a little joke about there how every Apple phone is or every Samsung phone is just the previous version, except with a different name. Yeah. The jokes. Some of them I didn't kind of found weird, or the references, but some of them were pretty weird, like how they ask the dead Napoleon if he was. It's confusing, I know, but they ask the dead Napoleon if where Ralph could be, and Napoleon says, "No, I do not know him, or I didn't see him, or whatever," and there's this running joke in the movie, I guess, about one of Rocco's friends, that weird yellow-looking one that looks like a cow. Depending on the animation, I don't know how cows look in this universe, but he's like yellow and stuff, and I guess his grandpa is a ghost or whatever. I don't know. But that was kind of weird, and the story. Oh boy, are a lot of people gonna like this one. A lot of old Rockos Modern Life fans, and are gonna understand what Rocco's feeling. That makes it even more people gonna understand it. Because if Rocco is feeling what the people watching the film are feeling, that have at least seen the original show and have nostalgia from it, they will know that, hey, this character is relating to me a lot. A character I thought I could never relate with, or I didn't relate with that much. And I'm going to watch it more money. They are not only making money, but they're also making fans. Ooh boy, this is going to be a success or not. I don't know. A reboot. But this isn't technically a reboot since it follows in the same storyline. And they don't have the characters all new and stuff. It's just the same characters. The same old characters. And just adjusting to new things. It's kind of... I don't know if this would be a reboot. And I don't know if this would be a sequel. Because it isn't a prequel. It is not a prequel. But is that... I don't know if this would count as a reboot or a sequel or a requel. I just invented a new word, requel. This is a requel. It's a reboot, yet a sequel. Man, this is probably the best requel I've ever seen yet. What else? What would I rate this? What's an item from the show? Well, apparently the dog ordered a bunch of mops later in the show, I guess. So, I mean later in the film, so like probably 9 mops out of 10 would probably watch Rocko's Modern Life film again. So yeah, that's the newest episode of the Complaint Office, but it isn't really a complaint office. It's more of a review. Wait a minute, would this count as a that was bad? No, it was good though. Yeah, but I made a that was good. Hold up, well, I'm going to figure out what I am doing with my Korean channel. Anyway, goodbye guys, like, subscribe and stuff. And you should watch the film if you have a Netflix account. Or just borrow your friends. Or just break into somebody's house and watch their Netflix if they have Netflix. Anyway, goodbye guys, like, subscribe and stuff. Maybe leave a comment about how you felt about the film. 9 out of 10 mops. Goodbye guys.